there's wins that you look back on and I think help define a program. This is one of them. And I don't want to make a lot. We have a great deal of respect for Boise and Coach Harsin. I want to say thanks to our fans and students. You know, I remember 2 years ago I had BV take a iPhone picture, and I mean, it's pretty bleak. And I had somebody take a picture at the end there, and it's neat to see our student body and people in the state rally around. A lot of great plays out there today and a great effort. We knew coming in it was going to be a close ball game. It was going to be a play or two here or there. You know, quite frankly, I was a little bit concerned when we didn't get in on the 4th and 1. They went down all the way and scored a touchdown, a 99-yard drive. But I think what it does show is a resolve and a belief with our players and each other and what the coaches are telling them to do. A lot of hard work went into this one, and it was number 6. So at this time, I'll open it up to questions.
What changed defense? I mean, you're down by 14, I think, 2 different times in
Yeah.
this game. So you mentioned resolve and belief, certainly, but anything schematically, what really kind of changed?
Well, you know what, I think, yeah, we did a couple things that are different. Obviously, you know, our next opponent will see some things on tape. But the other thing, too, was, you know, we started to, you know, get a couple stops in the running game. It created some long yardages, and we were able to get some pressure. You know, the one pick before half by Rico was a huge play, and that was a change up there. And then coming out in the second half, I thought our defensive coaches did some good adjusting, and it was kind of, it flipped. I mean, in the first half, it was like no one wanted to play defense. And then the second half, you know, both teams were coming up with stops, and we were getting slowed down. Some of our power rushing game was getting shut down, and but I thought, you know, we made some plays. Obviously, the 2-point play was huge, and the play before that was huge as well. And we've been working on the hands team. I mean, I can tell you what, we spent a great deal of time working on that, and that proved to be a wise decision. We came up with the recovery.
Coach, huge night from Jacob Hollister. Was there just kind of a great matchup there for him, or what was he able to do tonight?
On that.
Just all night.
Well, you know, we felt like, you know, he's been underutilized. That sounds, we don't think we've utilized him as well as what we could have, and tonight we did. And sometimes you go through and you're looking at, I was a defensive coordinator, you look at breakdowns where the ball is going, and he hadn't been used very much, and he certainly was a weapon today. And I thought Josh did a nice job getting the ball to him.
You know, Chase Appleby, the play at CSU, and then obviously forcing the fumble tonight. He's maybe the smallest defensive interior defensive lineman, but he keeps making plays and continues to show how important he is.
His heart is as big as the state of Wyoming, and he'll probably say, you know, he's from Texas, but I'm going to switch that around a little bit for him. You know, he adds a great deal, and for him to be out there all game certainly had a big impact on our defensive front.
Coach, especially in that second half, it just seemed like Brian Hill, he'd get hit behind the line, but he'd still power forward for a couple of yards for a first down. On third downs, Josh Allen would come through with a big pass. We just talked about your team's will to win in this game.
Well, that's the resolve of belief. And, you know, we had put up some signs when we first got here through the locker room and in the IPF. Basically, those who stay will be champions. And some of the guys are no longer here, and those guys that have been bought in, it's encouraging, and that's beginning to spread. And you know, the never say die attitude. And Brian's, and we've got some ultra competitive guys, and that's what you're seeing tonight.
Coach, you saw the scene out there. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something, then I want you to take it from there. College football has returned to Laramie tonight.
Well, I'd like to think it has. You know, that was one of our goals, to return Cowboy football back to national prominence. I don't know if we're nationally prominent, but we beat a good football team that was ranked pretty high, and it was great to see that scene. I was with Tim Harkins, and he turned and he said, "Look, Coach, look," because I was coming off the field, and it's hard. I mean, it's touching to see what has happened, and it's been a collective effort. You know, I want to say thanks to Tom Berman and for providing us the resources to get our program where it's at, and then our coaches and players to be all bought in. And, you know, I know it's going to give you guys something to write and talk about.
Coach, you talk about Josh's arm a lot, but the touchdown and the 2-point conversion, when you see those throws that he makes on the run like that, and go across his body and back over the middle, what do you think whenever you?
Well, first say I cringe. You know, I think you know, my favorite pro football team a long time ago was the Minnesota Vikings, and Brett Favre did one of those and didn't work out so well. But Josh, a lot of the plays are extended, and a lot of them, you know, he's creating them with his legs and his arms, and he's an ultra competitive guy. I don't want to say pushes an envelope, but he has a great deal of confidence in his skill set, and you want that in a quarterback. And tonight, you know, he came up big with those plays.
Greg, how did you think of how Jolly did at his first game of tackle? I know you'll look at film.
Yeah, well, we'll look at film, but I can tell you this: there was a big cheer for Brink down there. I mean, it went through the whole room after the game. Everybody was excited about Brink, and he had big shoes to fill. And you know, they're a really good defensive front, and I thought he did a great job tonight.
Coach, you're no stranger to big wins over the course of your career. I don't want to put you on the spot too much.
I won't.
How does this rank up there?
Well, it's way near the top. And a lot of it has to do with just where we were at when we first got here. We weren't going to take shortcuts. I know that maybe some, you know, people on the outside wondered what the heck's going on. But you know, it's rewarding. And yeah, you're right. There's several big wins, but this one's going to go down to this one here is a really special one.
Coach, you talk about not taking the shortcuts. I admit I'm not around this program every week, but is that a big reason why you think this team has become so successful?
Without question. Yeah, without question. You know, it's hard to define, but there's a vision that we have. There's a process that we have, and we believe in that process. And when some people, you know, would question that, I think what it did, it brought this football team, the coaches, closer together. And you know, this formula works. And it's not anything I learned it from Coach Osborne. And there's just a lot of things that go into it. But if you have the plan, if you work the plan works, and that's what we're doing.
Coach, on a personal level, I mean, is it kind of gratifying to see the model start to work from the FCS level up here?
Yeah, well, it is, and you knew that those days were coming, but some of our local people will tell you there's some pretty dry days, and I'd have to come in and put a smile on my face and stay at it. And you know, to say we've turned the corner, I think we made big strides. You know, we've got a lot of season left, but this was a huge one because they're a really good football team. They're really well coached, and they've got good players, and they deserve to be nationally ranked. And I know we got one vote last week. Hopefully we get a couple more votes this week.
Greg, did you ever have a sense of how your team will play heading into a game? And on top of that, did you have any kind of a sense before the game how the team might perform this season?
Yeah, we did. You know, I talked to our players. I said, hey, Boise State's got really good players. And I told our guys, guess what? We got good players too. And what you find is when you get in games like this, these are really enjoyable games. But what's got to occur is to transition from, okay, we're a pretty good team. Maybe some people on the outside don't think we're ready for this. Maybe some guys don't know if we're in this position. But when you have a guy like Josh Allen or Brian Hill or Andrew Wingard, those guys, I don't care if it's tiddlywinks, they're about to win. And so, you know, to say I felt coming in like, oh, for sure we're going to win, but I knew we were going to have a heck of a shot. I know probably on the outside a lot of people were saying, well, they don't have much of a chance. I knew we were going to match up well, and I knew our guys were going to play well. And, you know, we certainly could have played better, but I thought we played well.
Coach, down by 4 going into halftime, what was your halftime message to your
Well, you know, we talked that we were in the middle of the game. We talked to our defensive guys. I got a little bit frustrated on the long drive, you know. But I had to recognize that Boise has really good players, and so they're going to make some plays. We talked about encouraging our guys, making sure they're fundamentally in the right spot to play with some poise and composure, that we're going to come up with some plays. And I thought our coaches did a good job with the adjustments, and our players, you know, they bounced back, and we flipped it around.
Coach Cooper had a career long with 40 and then a 39er as well, and ended up winning by 2. Just how huge is it to have?
That was huge, you know, for a freshman to come out and be consistent. We've spent a lot of time working on kicking, but that's still, you can work on it out there on air, and you can videotape, and you can do some things in team, but until you're out there in this situation, those points were huge.
Correct.
And I thought on the other side too, Ethan Wood did a great job punting tonight. They were playing on the long field. I thought he was spot on.
Greg, obviously it was an emotional day early in the day to break ground on this new facility here, and how you know how important that is,
Yeah.
and then to cap it off with this. This is, no, it's probably been a trying day, an exhausting
It has.
day, but this has almost been like a storybook ending type day, hasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly has. And, I got a little bit emotional during that presentation, but I'm not going to apologize for that because of a lot of the people who are vested in Cowboy football and Cowboy athletics. A lot of things on the agenda, but in the back, you knew that everything was pointing to this ball game, and so it was great to see us come up with a win.
Coach, before the season started, you said the cavalry is coming. Is the cavalry here?
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. That's about as bold a statement as I can make.
So, congratulations, Jake. I'll just start with you. I mean, 10 catches, 112 yards, and 2 touchdowns coming into this game. Blew that out of the water. Just see something they thought utilized you more, or something work out. Kind of explain kind of what happened there.
First, I just want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for the opportunity. But man, I mean, it was just my day to make plays, and when I had the chance, I did. I mean, Josh made great reads, O-line protected, and the rest was history. But it was a great feeling just being able to produce for my team and do well in that category. But man, I just can't stop smiling. I'm just overwhelmed.
Did you see something into the week that something like Jake, even I know Harshman caught a couple too, that the tight end was going to be maybe more utilized today?
Well, yeah, that's what happens when you play a lot of zone on defense, and they just kind of gave us the opportunities. And Jake's one of the hardest working guys on this team. He's a captain. No one deserves this more than him. He's a playmaker, and he busts his butt every day. Couldn't be happier for him. I love this guy right here. I love all my teammates, and it was our day today.
Josh, on that last score, it almost seemed like mirror image of that Nebraska touchdown. Pointing to Tanner. Just can you take me through that play?
Yeah, we actually called a little underneath route. Supposed to be thrown to Jake over here, but pocket collapsed a little bit. Got up on the edge, and he was running towards the right side of the end zone with 2 guys on him. I pointed at him, and me and Tanner have some good chemistry, so he peeled back and let him go make a play. And it was a fantastic feeling, especially being on their sideline after I'm throwing the ball, and then coming back with the 2-point conversion and hitting Jake Maulhardt with it's a huge grab right there that ties the game and forces a lot of stuff on Boise State.
For both you guys, won the Bohl Award this year. You had the late win against NIU. Now you beat Boise State. I mean, what kind of high are you guys riding this season?
It just feels so good getting it for the guys who have been here for so long through the struggle, and the coaches who have just believed in us and told us if we stay, we're going to be champions. And those guys who are here right now are the guys who believed in that. And we had a lot of guys leave who didn't believe in that and didn't believe in the system. But the guys who have stayed here are the hardest working guys you'll ever meet. And through the off season, everything, we've all just had trust in each other. And man, I'm so proud of all my guys, man. I love all my teammates, and I'm on the biggest high you can imagine after that.
To piggyback off that, I've said this is a special team since spring ball. And Coach Bohl kind of mentioned it earlier in our meeting with him. He said, we're not very heavily recruited guys. Our coaches weren't wanted by many programs. And, Coach Bohl's a proven winner. He's got a system, and these coaches know how to win. And it took a couple years for it to finally come, but people are starting to see it, and it's a great thing.
On that note, with you guys, how different does just the locker room feel from years past into, say, going to the locker room after the win tonight?
Oh, that's the biggest difference. When you're talking about the locker room culture in general, you just have guys who don't doubt anything. They trust in the coaches and everything, and obviously the locker room's going to be pretty pumped up and stuff after a win and everything like that, but we just have guys who are just a family now. We trust in each other.
A lot of love on this team.
We got so much love for all our teammates, and I couldn't be more proud of those
And
guys.
for both you guys, Jake and Josh, the scene on the field, Josh, I saw you after the game. You said, I don't know what to do with myself. Can you talk about that scene, and could you ever dream that something like that could ever happen?
You see it all the time. Growing up, big school goes down to a little school, But in my opinion, this wasn't a David and Goliath scenario. We've put in the hours that we've needed, and we've put in the work. This game wasn't won today. It was won in the off season and practice and preparation this week. man, if I could relive that moment, you know, I would every day if I could. You know, fans coming on the field, and I never thought I'd be a part of it, so it was something special.
Josh, lots of points in that, for both of you guys, lots of points in that second quarter, then third quarter, kind of a defensive struggle. What was it like to see your defense come out of the half and play like that?
Well, it was big because we didn't move the ball on offense very well. But, you know, that's what happens when good teams go into halftime. They make adjustments, and they, you know, carry them onto the field after halftime. They played outstanding tonight. Huge safety by, I think it was Chase Appleby, right? And, you know, just kind of sealed the deal for us. It was fantastic.
For either of y'all, you guys are on Statue of Liberty, that doesn't really work. Reverse, that doesn't really work. Flea flicker, that doesn't really work. But when you guys run like traditional football plays, you guys run down their throats, how satisfying is that?
That's just what we are. That's what Cowboy football is now. I mean, you look at that last drive that we had where we just need to get one more first down. That's something that we couldn't do in the past years. And I just remember everyone being around me. Everyone trusted that everyone was going to give 100% to get that first down because that's all that we need to finish the game off. And we just have that different mindset now where we know we can run the ball on people. And it's a whole nother level of good feeling to just know you can run it down someone's throat.
And our line played outstanding tonight.
Yeah.
You know, they opened holes and they kept their defenders off me. You know, with the right tackle going out, Ryan Cummins, and Brinkley Jolly stepping in, he did an amazing job. And just seeing those guys progress every week I mean, we got a special team, and I'll say that until I die.
Jake, Josh, 14-0, you're down. The crowd kind of muted a little bit. And honestly, on the sideline, I'd like you to take me through. Was there any letdown whatsoever? Did you guys feel like you were, you know, kind of now having to climb an even bigger hill?
No, I never felt that way at all. You look at our Colorado State game; it was the same thing. I think we got down 14-0. Guys are just calm. We got a lot of playmakers on the team who have just ice in their veins. I mean, this guy right here is one of the biggest playmakers I know, and we just have so much confidence in our guys. Where we knew it was going to take some time to come back with our offense, make some plays, and we just had trust in everybody to do that.
You guys talked about how big that crowd was for you tonight?
It was huge. Third down for Boise State when they're on the field, and I couldn't hear my thoughts on the sideline. So I'm so happy that they were out and about and just as loud as they were, because that, you know, has an impact on a football game, regardless if you think it does or not. It really does. And playing at home, we're 4-0 this season, and don't expect the crowd to get any smaller next home game.
And guys, one last question. We here love to talk about, you know, the statement win, the win that, you know, signals the turnaround in a program that's rebuilding. Is this a statement win, or is this one more notch in the belt?
Tough question.
It's a big win for our coaches. It's a big win for the program, but, you know, as a player standpoint, we look at it as the next game. 6-2 now, and, you know, we're in sole possession of, you know, Mountainside Division, so we got to keep going. You know, there's a lot more games to go, so that's our mindset.
Josh, you said before the season the goal was conference championship. Was this kind of just playing out the way you saw it then, or did you even see it kind of going like this?
You know, I'll say it again. You know, it's a special team, and we got some special guys that, you know, they just want to win, and they've been through the ringer. We've had our ups and downs. We've been counted out numerous times, and going from 2-10 last year to 6-2 this year so far, it's, you know, that just complements, you know, our drive, our relentlessness that we have, and ultimately our coaches.
13th ranked team in the country. You're in first place, you know, by yourselves in the division. I know a lot of football left, but how does this feel? Can you put it in words?
It feels right. We all expected to be in a good spot at this point of the season, as long as we played the way we were supposed to play. And tonight, it all just came together.
Brian,
Yeah.
it seemed like,
No, you.
it seemed like first half, you know, you had a couple big runs. The second half seemed like every 3 yards you had to fight for 2.5 of them. Just how, you know, what was it like to go out there and kind of have to do that but come through?
Their defensive coordinators made great adjustments at halftime, and they had a good game plan coming out for the third quarter. We just had to fight for every yard we could, and I had to try to fight through every tackle.
What was the big difference with the defense? I think they got up 14 on you 2 different times and throwing it and running it at will, and then the second half changed a little bit. Were there adjustments? What kind of changed for you guys?
Yeah, the adjustments was huge for us. You know, we were missing some fits, you know, missing some tackles, but, you know, it really wasn't anything, you know, crazy, huge adjustments. It was just us doing what we do, really. Like I said, we didn't start well, but, you know, we battled through adversity, and you could see in the second half how much better our defense was playing, and that was really it. Us just doing our base things right, and we were able to have more success when we were doing that. So
You're on the field in the back there when Chase loops around and forces that. What did you see kind of develop in front of you?
I wasn't even looking. I was making sure no one got behind me. But once I heard the crowd yell and I saw that ball bouncing, I mean, one of the best feelings probably of my entire life, just running down there knowing I knew it was a safety because I had seen Chase hit him after I had gotten deep enough to look, and then I saw the ball go in the back, and I thought, like this is actually happening right now, and I just screaming and yelling. So it was an awesome feeling.
You got Chase. I mean, he's 6 foot, 270 pounds. He's probably the smallest interior defensive lineman in the country. Yet he makes a play like that. He made the play at CSU. What does he mean to this team and this defense?
That's our team. We're blue collar, hardworking guys. Chase Appleby, like you said, is all of 6 foot and all of however much he weighs, but he's out there, mean mugging all the Boise State linemen on the number 13th ranked team in the nation. And, before the game, everyone's, ooh, Boise State, ooh, this and that. That's Coach Bohl's, that's the culture we're building, Blue collar, we're going to go out and punch you in the mouth, and guys like that are going to have success because we work hard. And, it displayed tonight, and it's just a great feeling, and really happy for Chase. And he stepped up huge this season. I'm just really happy for him.
Guys, for the both of you, when did it finally sink in that this completely happened?
Still hasn't. Probably tomorrow. Tonight we just have to handle some business.
Yep. I was sitting on the sideline asking every coach I could, are they gonna have time yet, or if we get a first down, this and that. I was like freaking out. I just wanted the game to be over so bad. And like you said, it really hasn't even set in yet, and it's gonna be a good night, that's for sure. And I'm just happy for us, no doubt. Happy for the coaches, but I'm happy for the state as well. All the fans coming out and supporting us, and us getting one of the biggest wins in Wyoming football history tonight. It's just a great feeling.
What was it like during that long timeout when they were checking on the inadvertent whistle? Was that like interminable?
I was kind of freaking out. But then that too, I was like, I thought they weren't gonna charge him a timeout, and I was just every little instance was going through my head if they were gonna get the ball back and we were gonna have to go back out, all that. So for me, I was freaking out, and I was just hoping that they were gonna burn the timeout and we could get the first down, which we did.
I was hot. I was mad. It was plenty of runs where there could have been an inadvertent whistle when I went down, but that was not one of them. When I went down, and he blew the whistle while I'm picking up my knees running, trying to get a first down. So we were just able to, I was happy we were able to get the first down. I was hot at the time, but it all turned out well.
Guys, your teammates talk about it, your coaches talk about it, buying into the system. But what about this system has made this team so successful?
It's the entire system, not just the offensive scheme, not just the defensive scheme, not just the schemes, period. It all started back in January with Coach Dennison. He's part of the system, and us getting bigger and faster and stronger. And then we were just able to carry out the game plan that we've been running for the last 2 years a lot better, just because of what Coach Dennison did with us this offseason.
I just think we're like you said, buying in, but guys are just doing their job now and having fun doing it. Last year, guys were, sometimes we knew what we were doing, sometimes we didn't, but we weren't really, having fun. Now we're doing everything we need to do. The weeks are grueling. I mean, I couldn't, say it to a elementary school what Coach Standard says out there at practice, but it works. You got to buy in. You got to accept the coaching that they're giving you. Because it's working so far. And just like I said, buying in, blue chip. Work harder than the outwork. Like Chase, you're a smaller guy, but he's gonna outwork everyone. I think that's really what's helped us get over the top is stuff like that. So
you mentioned Coach Dennison. You mentioned the off-season program. I mean, how much does that come home against a team like Boise State that's not necessarily G5 size, they're more Power 5 size?
Yeah, this summer, winter conditioning and last summer was probably some of the worst times of all of our lives, honestly.
Yeah,
the workouts were that grueling, and it was, this is nothing against Coach Duval and all those guys, but it was a 180-degree flip the way we worked out with Coach Dennison. He's not scared to tell Brian Hill he's slacking off. He's not scared to tell me we're slacking off. He's not scared to, get mad at anyone for not working hard. And like I said, this winter and this summer, we're out there almost 100 degrees on the turf running gassers, and Coach Dennison's yelling, "What are we going to do in the fourth quarter?" I mean, that's the stuff that's really put us over the top, and he really pushes us so hard. And you don't want to thank him while you're doing the workout. You want to punch him in the face, but now you want to thank him. So
I don't know if you want to punch him in the face. He's pretty big.
What it was like to see those fans just storm the field like that after your win tonight?
I mean, it was awesome. 2 years ago, we played Boise State. It was snowing, and I mean, there might have been 10 people in the stands. So it was just a completely different atmosphere, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it was a great feeling. I mean, it's something that we've waited for a really long time, and we've went through a lot of struggles, us as seniors, to get here, so it was a great feeling.
Tanner, just how tough of a throw was the one that Josh had to make on that last touchdown to you when he's thrown across his body?
Yeah, I mean, that's a ridiculous throw, but it's kind of expected from Josh. But yeah, that was an amazing throw, and just kind of had faith, and we made the play.
Your other real marquee game this year, you lost at Nebraska. Was there anything you guys took from that loss going into this game, saying, hey, we can beat these guys, maybe a mentality change going up against number 13 team like this?
Yeah, I mean, we knew that we can play with anybody after that game. We hung with those guys for almost the whole game. So I guess that kind of gave us a great deal of confidence. And we had Boise tonight, and I don't think anyone on the team was worried or scared or anything. We just wanted to get the win.
Tanner, what's been the biggest difference, the success of this offense, especially playing smash mouth football? I guess comparing it to your early years here before Coach Bohl got here.
I think that we're just super balanced. We have Brian and Sean and Josh can even run the ball, and when we get our running game going, that leaves one-on-one matchups for us as receivers, and I think we can exploit that really well.
Not that side of the ball gets a whole lot of credit, but just how big were Ethan and Cooper for you guys tonight?
Huge. I mean, that's something we take away from the Nebraska game, too. I mean, Cooper's growing up, and we're able to see that, and he's confident. I mean, we keep putting him in these situations because we trust him, and it was huge for him to make those kicks tonight.
Guys, I mean, you've been around this program for a while. I asked Josh and Jake also about this. What has changed in the locker room since your first year to where it's at now?
I would just say that as a team, I just think there's a lot tighter relationships. When I first came here, there was kind of segregated, and like these certain people were close with these guys, and I just think over the years it's kind of grown that the whole team is just kind of really good friends, and I think that's helping us on the field.
For a guy that's only played in, 5 minutes of a game before this season started, we just talked about the poise Josh Allen shows when he's in the pocket, out of the pocket, anytime during the game. I mean, he doesn't look like a redshirt sophomore out there.
Yeah, I mean, he's been waiting for this, I'm sure his whole life, and yeah, he's super relaxed. I think he's really confident in his abilities and in his arm, and I think every week he's getting more confident in his decision making, so he's been doing a really good job.
You guys have gone up against a ranked team now. Do you think you belong in that top 25?
I hope so. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You guys talk a little bit about wherever the depth of last season, the lowest point was, versus where you're at right now. Kind of contrast those two things.
I think to be where we're at right now, we needed last year to happen. You needed those young kids to get in there and play. I mean, we were one of the youngest teams in the nation last year, and that just helped us. I mean, it wasn't nice to see the record and everything, but it's paying off this year, and we trusted the plan, and the plan's paying off now.
Jake, the 2-point conversion, can you guys just take me through that play, what you saw there?
I was not supposed to get the ball. I was kind of running my guy out so the tight ends can go get the ball. I kind of ran a pick and roll, and he threw it, and I was like, oh, geez. And it worked out, though. I was pretty pumped.
Guys, I know there's games left, and you guys still have a lot more to play for, but what does it mean to hear that, when they say Wyoming now, they now say Bohl eligible Wyoming. What does that mean for you guys?
I think it's huge. I mean, since we've been here, we've never been able to say that. We've been close a couple of times, and so I think the most important thing is we're sitting in the driver's seat now. So we don't want to be just the bowl eligible team. We have to win the games week after week, because now we're talking about possibly Mountain West championship game, Wyoming. And that's a completely different conversation than just bowl eligible Wyoming.
Good place to start.
Yeah, it's a really nice place.
Yep.
Last night, I don't know if Coach Bohl said it, but I came down with food poisoning on Thursday.
and I actually didn't take one team rep this whole week. So they were doing concussion protocol, and I came down with some food poisoning. Played with a little Pepto-Bismol. We were good to go.
Was it that barbecue you ate in Cheyenne?
I don't know. I think it might. I don't know if I want to throw anyone under the bus, but it was definitely a place around here. So.
Just would you know? Can you take me through that safety play?
You know what? We were running the twist on the backside. Kevin Prosser came in. He dug it out, and I just wrapped around. And then Ripien was right there. And I don't know if he knew what he was doing, but he kind of froze there for a second, and the ball was kind of bobbling around. So I tried to put a good hit on him, and I saw the ball fly out. And I initially didn't even know the ball was out. I wanted to recover it for another score, but we'll take the safety.
Did you know it was a safety right away?
Yeah, definitely. Because I was right into him. I don't see how he could get a throw off.
How does it feel to kind of play the role of the hero tonight?
I mean, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool when you're not as close to a lot of people, and you got your close friends, and everyone else on the team's kind of a friend. But you got a friend some guys you're not really familiar with coming up to you and just saying great job, and the fans. It's really cool. But I'm happy for our team. I mean, the number 13 team in the country coming in here. We were picked to finish bottom of the whole Mountain West, and now we're up top.
Is that the secret now? Just Brian was sick last week. Just get
I don't know, man. I was dog sick Thursday, and I didn't know if I was gonna make it Friday. Went to the hotel, got some good sleep last night, and woke up felt like a new man. So.
What's it mean to see the crowd rush the field being a fifth-year senior?
I was urging him to come on there. I wanted him to. That's never happened in my 5 years here. I've never been experienced a win like that. I don't even know if I've been here for a win over a top 25 opponent. So for this one to be the first is pretty sweet.